Coming up on Mountain News at 6, crews in Harlan County continue working to contain a lake leak. And a Senate bill is proposing designated maternity leave for teachers.
And we are not done with Old Man Winter just yet. Your forecast on the way as Mountain News at 6 starts now.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
The leak at Luellen Lake in Harlan County has nearly been contained as crews have been working since yesterday afternoon to avoid loss of property and life. WYMT's Madison Carmouche is in Harlan County with an update on the situation and joins us now live. Madison.
Good evening, Steve. I'm here in the Luellen community more than 24 hours after the Luellen Lake leak began. Now, behind me, you can see that this house, it belongs to the farmers. Yesterday, everywhere you see grass, there was actually flooding. So with the help of that pump that is working so hard over at Luellen Lake, as well as the ditch that they drilled near the farmer's house, the farmers are almost in the clear as far as flooding in front of their home goes, but I was able to talk to them earlier today just kind of about their experience. As a sinkhole formed at Luellen Lake, one home on Bergen Lane dealt with the aftermath.
Just started bubbling out from the bottom over here next to the road, and there's a culvert up there that drains the lake over into my ditch, and then this little culvert right here is not big enough to handle the flow, so it all backed up into my yard.
Jason Farmer and his family have lived here for 11 years and say this experience gave them perspective.
It was really scary because when they come and tell us they were evacuating us, it was like, you need to get what you absolutely have to have and leave, because if you don't leave, they could be digging your bodies out tomorrow. So
officials say the lake is privately owned, but issuing a state of emergency gave them access to help the Luellen community.
At any time there's a large body of water, that it can cause damage. Water is very powerful and it moves very fast, and it can cause loss of life and loss of property quickly.
The water pump is able to pump 1,000 gallons of water per 1 minute and has already removed more than 6 feet of water.
Pump the lake down to a level that the sinkhole could be safely evaluated to determine what the real situation is, why this was caused, and if there is a possible fix.
Officials and community members agree they hope the lake will be better taken care of or drained in the future.
The last 5 years, it's not been kept up, and grass everywhere, kudzu vines are taking it over. So if they're not going to keep it up, I hope they close it, drain it, and fill it.
So at this point in time, actually that sinkhole, you can see the sinkhole in its entirety. It's no longer kind of pooling so much water into it that's bubbling over here out and under the street. I think that is a big part of why the farmer's house is able to kind of get rid of a lot of that water so far. I actually spoke to some students of the farmers. They're both teachers, and they told me that when they found out their teacher's house was flooded, they came up here to the lake, and that's where they saw the sinkhole. So there were actually a couple of 13-year-old girls that found that sinkhole that ended up getting all this started. So
yeah. All right, Madison, thank you very much. Certainly could have been a whole lot worse, and hopefully they're well on their way to a solution there. As always, you can keep up with the latest on this story and others on our website at WYMT.com and the WYMT News app. London police are looking for a Laurel County man. Here is a picture of him. He is 24-year-old Thurman Brock, but he goes by Jimmy. Brock is wanted on charges of promoting a minor in a sexual performance and sexual abuse. The victim is younger than the age of 12. Police say Brock is known to drive a white 2012 Chevy Equinox with the license plate J0T626. If you see him or know where he is, call the London Laurel County 911 Center at 606-878-7000. In Estill County, a man has been charged in a serious animal cruelty case. Delbert Weber pleaded guilty to 1 count of second-degree animal cruelty yesterday. He was originally charged with 73 counts for the 73 dogs found in dirty cages in his home back in September. A judge sentenced Weber to 180 days of home incarceration. He is allowed work release 2 days a week. He will also pay court costs. He is not allowed to have any new animals. 2 men are behind bars after police reportedly found drugs on them during a traffic stop in Johnson County. According to an arrest citation we obtained, the incident happened back on February 2nd. In the citation, Paintsville police began a chase when the driver nearly caused a crash. When the 2 men were eventually pulled over, police reportedly found suspected meth on William Stapleton and Philip Parsons.
Well, the calendar may say February 15th, but it feels more like late March or early April across the region on this Thursday evening. We are well above average. Here's a live look across the mountains from the London Corbin Airport to downtown Pikeville, also from Moorhead at I-64 and from Buffalo Mountain over in Perry County. And as you can see, some calm weather continues as we go into this evening, sitting at 62 for Manchester, 63 in Harlan, also 62 over in Middlesboro. So we are well above average. We should be in the 40s. And like we talked about, it feels like late March across the region on this Thursday. Up on first alert pinpoint Doppler, we are dry, all thanks to dry air, and that will continue as we go into this evening. Those low temperatures are chilly as you wake up on Friday. Most of us wake up close to freezing in the lower 30s. We stay calm overnight, but we do have a first alert weather day in place on Friday. As that next rain to snow maker is on the way, we could see some more accumulating snowfall, also some more slick spots by Friday evening and Friday night. More details on that winter weather thread coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
All right, Cameron, thank you. Teachers would have designated maternity leave in addition to sick leave if a bill passes the General Assembly. Senate Bill 205 was filed this week. Public school employees would get more paid time off following the birth of a child. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has more on the bill.
Kentucky teachers have to use sick, personal, or other days when on maternity leave. Senator Lindsey Tishner says she filed Senate Bill 205 to designate paid maternity leave.
And the majority of our teachers are women. A lot of them are coming out of college and starting a family, and they have to rely on those sick days in order to get paid when they're on maternity leave.
If the bill is made law, teachers who give birth would qualify for 20 maternity leave days on top of 10 sick leave days they receive each year.
Yes, we will support maternity leave for educators. You know, we need to make sure that we're providing for those who are building their new family. As new and young educators come into the system, they don't.
Unlike traditional sick leave days, these maternity days could not be transferred. They would not be used from year to year, and any unused days upon a teacher returning to work would simply expire. Tishner says women could technically have a total of 6 weeks off by combining their 10 sick leave days with the 20 maternity days in the bill.
I think it's given broad support. I'm hearing from both sides of the aisle on this. I'm hearing from teachers who are excited about the idea. I don't think many are going to be opposed to the idea of providing that financial support for our new moms.
You know, especially for a profession that's made up of almost 80% women. You know, you would think that would be something that would have been addressed a long time ago.
The bill's language states it's for women who give birth and others who need more time off, such as in the case of adoption, would qualify for 30 sick leave days. Frankfort, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
The bill was introduced Monday but has not been assigned to a committee. A rally today at the state capitol featuring both advocates and lawmakers about gun safety. The rally was for Every Town for Gun Safety's annual Advocacy Day. They are asking lawmakers to pass gun violence prevention measures. One bill many advocates are asking to see passed this session is the Crisis Aversion Rights Retention Order, or CAR Act. After not passing last year, they hope their advocacy can help lead the way to change.
To change.
There's an old African adage, a proverb that said it takes a village to raise a child. But, hold on, because if it takes a village to raise a child, it takes a village to lose one.
The rally comes less than a year after the Old National Bank mass shooting in Louisville. A bill that would help with the health care provider shortage in Kentucky is headed to the Senate. The State House unanimously approved House Bill 407. It would allow EKU to offer medical degrees for practice and licensure in osteopathic medicine. EKU would be the first public college in the state to give out that degree. Governor Andy Beshear discussed the impact of a new agriculture business coming to Pulaski County. Bosch Berries is based out of the Netherlands and has been operating since the 1850s. The company is locating a greenhouse operation in Somerset, reportedly investing nearly $50 million and creating 28 full-time jobs. Governor Beshear said the business adds to economic growth in the state.
Bosch Berries is a sixth-generation family farm operation founded in 1854 and has been involved in greenhouse cultivation since the 1930s. The company currently operates 2 greenhouses, and I look forward to welcoming its third right here in Kentucky. So I'd now like to invite Timon.
During his briefing, the governor also announced the Kentucky National Guard being named the 2023 Association of the U.S. Army's Best National Guard Command, marking the first time that has happened.
Well, the forecast turns wintry as we close out the work week. Those details coming up after this break.